Another dry day Wednesday, but more showers coming again on Thursday. Temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s. That's a look at the weather. We'll have it for you at the top of every hour right here on The Power of Two.
On World News Tonight this Saturday, is there a spy at the nation's top nuclear weapons laboratory? An investigation into stolen nuclear secrets. Anger over the acquittal of an American pilot from the village where 20 people died. And dream house or eyesore, an ugly fight in a beautiful valley.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, Saturday.
Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Vargas. One congressional source tells ABC News it is the most significant loss of secrets since the Rosenbergs were convicted of spying for the Russians in the 1950s. This time, it is China that is accused of stealing American nuclear secrets. Recent published reports in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal have focused on the search for a spy in the nation's top weapons laboratory. ABC's Martha Raddatz has been doing her own investigating. She reports now from Washington.
This is the government laboratory where the most sensitive, highly classified nuclear technology available today is held.
The laboratories have probably the smartest people in science and engineering and physics in the world.
And sources tell ABC News that the FBI is now investigating one of those scientists, a Chinese American suspected of giving China information about America's most sophisticated nuclear weapon, the W-88, a smaller, more mobile device which rides atop submarine-launched ballistic missiles. One U.S. official tells ABC News that since 1992, the Chinese have conducted 4 to 5 successful tests on a nuclear device similar to the W-88. The stolen U.S. information, said the official, saved the Chinese as much as 15 years in production time. This is the third case in which sources say the Chinese have targeted Chinese-American scientists to gain classified information. Last year, a physicist at Los Alamos, 58-year-old Peter Lee, was convicted of passing nuclear weapons secrets to the Chinese while on a trip to Beijing. Lee, like the other Chinese Americans, was never paid for the information. Instead, according to sources, the Chinese appealed to his ethnic roots.
They figured that those people are Chinese nationalists who work in our scientific, in our universities and other centers for science, and they've attempted to target those people.
But what concerns critics even more is the dramatic 250% increase in the number of foreign visitors to the labs from sensitive countries like China, India, and Pakistan in the last decade.
Foreign nationals from sensitive countries have received classified information in the form of newsletters, symposiums.
Last year, the Department of Energy made recommendations to improve the security at the labs, but so far only a quarter have been implemented, leaving many officials fearing that even more secrets are being lost. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Washington.
The U.S. says ethnic Albanian rebels fighting in Kosovo have promised to sign the peace deal. That puts new pressure on the Serbs and raises once again the threat of NATO airstrikes. Here's ABC's Mike Lee.
Bob Dole, who once ran against Bill Clinton, is now on the same team, at least for a short time, and may have even helped rescue the Clinton administration from the political quicksand of the Kosovo crisis. Dole briefed Secretary of State Madeleine Albright and other U.S. officials in London today on his diplomatic shuttle mission to the Balkans, and, he says, a promise by the Kosovo Liberation Army to sign the U.S. brokered peace plan.
They indicated to us many times they would keep their word. I think they will keep their word. That means they will sign the document tomorrow.
The former senator, a longtime champion of groups who've rebelled against the Serbs, has been meeting with ethnic Albanian leaders near the Kosovo border. But Senator Dole's apparent success could still end up a big disappointment. Today, KLA rebel leaders, the real decision makers, were speaking out against the peace plan, which offers autonomy but denies them total independence from the Serbs. Bluster? Hard to say. But the American official closest to the situation today seemed to be signaling that the deal is done when it's done.
I think there was more progress yesterday, and we're hoping that in the very near future we will have a yes from the Albanians.
In Kosovo itself, renewed violence. 1 Albanian killed and 13 wounded on both sides in urban terrorism. Western officials worry that Serb attacks like this could escalate into a full-scale war before a peace deal can be signed by anyone. But the U.S. cannot threaten the Serbs with airstrikes unless and until the ethnic Albanians agree to make peace. U.S. officials say they may send yet another heavy hitter to try to solve the Kosovo crisis, American troubleshooter Richard Holbrooke, who pressured the Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic into signing the Dayton Peace Accords on Bosnia in 1995. Holbrooke, say officials, is discussing a possible resumption of talks with Milosevic. Mike Lee, ABC News, London.
In Bosnia, a U.S. soldier shot and killed a Bosnian Serb politician last night. It happened at this restaurant. NATO officials say the American peacekeeper fired in self-defense after he and his fellow Americans were attacked by a group of armed men. The Pentagon says U.S. warplanes attacked 8 Iraqi military sites in the southern and northern no-fly zones today in response to Iraqi threats. U.S. and British jets have been attacking Iraqi sites almost daily since December. In Italy, anger over the presence of the U.S. military has been growing since the military court acquitted the Marine pilot whose jet severed a gondola cable a year ago, killing 20 people. ABC's Richard Gisbert spent a day at the ski resort where the accident happened.
There's a new $20 million cable car system in Cavallese that the U.S. has promised to pay for. And President Clinton said yesterday the U.S. must shoulder responsibility for what happened here. But today there is still much anger over the acquittal of the pilot. The pilot's not the only one at fault, he says. It's the whole military apparatus. Yes, the other replies, they blame a lot of people, but in the end, no one is guilty. Different ski lift, similar conclusion. If the pilot's orders were wrong, he says, somebody still has to pay, because 20 people died. For all the anger in Cavallese over the verdict, almost nobody here is surprised. The Italians have said all along that if the U.S. military was left to prosecute its own man, justice would not be done.
I think that a civil court is best than a military court to make a good decision on this problem.
Military courts don't make the reasons for their judgments public, so we have our doubts. Then there's the politics and how all of this could affect NATO. Leftist politicians are already saying NATO bases should go, he says. That's the danger, that U.S.-Italian relations over NATO will suffer. It was left to this skier to put Italy's love-hate relationship with the U.S. into perspective. In 1945, the Americans were useful for us, he says. And when they're useful, we still want them. But when something like this happens, we want them to go. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, Cavallese, Italy.
Still ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday, why stockbrokers are working on a Saturday and why more young people want to keep the peace.
This is World News Tonight, Saturday. Brought to you by Tums.
Gee, that oatmeal was little. Yeah. You done with those sausages? You done with them hash browns? Sure. You need some help with that bacon? How did I get heartburn? All I had was oatmeal. Got any Mylanta?
Are you kidding? Aluminum and magnesium? You want Tums. Tums has calcium. Tums calcium knocks out heartburn fast, then goes to your bones to help keep them stronger, longer.
How about a bag of donuts for the road?
How about a bottle of Tums?
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell it's just for men. No one can tell it's just for men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell it's just for men.
Try to remember now. Where to look for a ginkgo biloba to help aid memory. Nature's Resource knows you should look for one with terpenes and flavone glycosides for memory help. And unlike some, Nature's Resource guarantees the potency and purity you need. Make your herbal resource Nature's Resource. Follow knowledge.
Spring may be just a couple of weeks away, but a reminder today that winter is not over. In Detroit, more than 160 Northwest Airlines flights were canceled because of heavy snow. Winter storm warnings were also in effect in parts of New York State today. The snow continued to fall in Rochester, which already has up to 2 feet of snow. The city could get hit with another foot of snow by tomorrow. It's estimated that 40% of Americans own stock, and Wall Street is going to great lengths to make sure that investors are not affected by the Y2K bug. In fact, brokers are taking a drastic step. They're working Saturdays. Today marks the first in a series of tests. ABC's Bill Rediker reports.
It was quiet in the urban canyons of Wall Street today, a typical Saturday. Or was it? Inside more than 400 brokerage houses and investment banks, thousands of traders showed up to place orders for stocks, bonds, and other securities, all as if the clock had been turned ahead to December 29th, 1999.
We picked December 29 because that's the first day that trades entered that day settle in the year 2000.
And no one's sure what will happen on that day. Some computers and software interpret 00 as the year 1900 instead of the year 2000, which could lead to crashes or faulty data. But the financial industry appears to be making progress.
One of the things we found is that the year 2000 bugs themselves are pretty easy to fix once you identify them.
American financial firms have been identifying and exterminating the bugs for the past 3 years. They expect today's test will reveal that Wall Street is ready for the millennium. It's the rest of the world they're concerned about. The European financial community is behind schedule because it's been preoccupied with its new currency, the euro. In South America, there's not much money to fix the problem. Oil exporter Venezuela is nearly broke. And in Asia, Japan, too, is struggling with a recession.
And if the world's second largest economy, which is quite depressed right now, has a year 2000 problem, that's going to be even a bigger problem for the global economy.
That's because increasingly the world economy is interconnected. There is so much concern that the Senate this week held a hearing on the international Y2K problem.
It's not just a domestic issue, and the fact that a system breaks down, that virus could spread to interconnected systems, and you could have a major problem here economically.
Early indications are that today's test went better than expected, though the complete results won't be available until late next month. Bill Rediker, ABC News, New York.
In his radio address today, President Clinton continued his push for reduced class sizes. The president called on Senate Republicans to allow a vote on a proposal that would provide grants to hire more teachers. Tomorrow on This Week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts, Linda Tripp. What did she think of the Monica Lewinsky interview? Coming up, the growing interest in the Peace Corps.
Boogie woogie, rumbling round, creamy, dreamy, grumbling round. It's got yogurt, blended right in, with the creamy taste of butter, you'll try again.
The goodness of yogurt, the creamy taste of butter with half the fat and calories. Must be Rummelin' Brown.
A new century is coming, and with it, 1,000 questions. Will your family ever be in harm's way? Will a small town in Texas be hit with a hurricane? Will your daughter ever need a new kind of blood treatment? We have no crystal ball for the world that awaits. Just one promise. We'll be there.
You may be surprised who's drinking Ensure. Healthy people. Why? Because to help you stay healthy, you have to eat right. For the times you can't eat nutritious foods like these, drink Ensure. With the essential vitamins and minerals you find in vegetables, calcium like in milk, and protein like in fish. Ensure is a source of complete balanced nutrition to help you stay active and energetic. Drink Ensure. And drink to your health.
I'm gonna live forever.
I'm gonna ruin your shirt. Stay. Baby, remember my name. Remember.
The amazing new Maytag Neptune washer. With its Turbo Clean wash system, it actually has the power to remove stains.
Say goodnight, stains.
Now in a super stack.
Boogie woogie, rumbling round, creamy, dreamy, rumbling round. It's got yogurt blended right in with the creamy taste of butter. You'll try again.
The goodness of yogurt, the creamy taste of butter with half the fat and calories. Must be Rummelin' Brown.
On 2020 Sunday, his wife put him in prison, but another man admits the crime. So why does she still want him behind bars? 2020 Sunday.
The White House today demanded that the killers of 3 Americans in Colombia be handed over to U.S. authorities. The U.S. blames Marxist rebels in Colombia for the murders. The 3 Americans were in Colombia to campaign against oil exploration on tribal lands. Although the world appears to be getting more and more dangerous, the number of young people wanting to join the Peace Corps is up. Here's ABC's Carla Davis.
Manning the Peace Corps booth used to be one of the loneliest assignments at any job fair. No more.
I'm really interested in Kenya and epidemic.
Why don't you give me your name?
So you would rather have people after they come from grad school?
Not really.
More and more young people, like Jason Carter, are signing up for 2-year stints overseas.
This is my family and friends right here.
Jason Carter, grandson of President Jimmy Carter, videotaped his experiences volunteering in South Africa. According to the Peace Corps, by year's end, enrollment will reach levels not seen in 25 years. Today's college graduates share the same sense of service that made their parents flock to the Peace Corps after President John Kennedy started the program in 1961.
I have today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps.
But for today's volunteers, 7,500 of them, enlisting is not just about service. It's also a career strategy.
Increasingly, young Americans realize that the Peace Corps is an important credential for them, for their careers, long after they return to the United States.
28-year-old Audrey Pedinek is leaving in 2 weeks to spend 2 years in Macedonia.
I think it'll be a wonderful adventure, an eye-opener, help me develop my international business skills.
The Peace Corps has growing interest and a growing budget as well. Just this week, Congress okayed $240 million for the Peace Corps, an $18 million increase. It is the biggest budget in the organization's history and was approved with a little help from their friends. 6 members of Congress are former Peace Corps volunteers. Carla Davis, ABC News, Washington.
The Coast Guard is conducting a rescue operation off the coast of Florida, searching for survivors from 2 small boats that were apparently smuggling Haitians into the U.S. The Coast Guard says at least 4 people have died, 3 have been rescued, but up to 40 are still missing. The Emir of Bahrain died today of an apparent heart attack just minutes after meeting with U.S. Defense Secretary William Cohen. The Crown Prince, seen here with Mr. Cohen, was sworn in shortly after. Cohen is touring the Gulf states to discuss defense issues. When we come back, the Air Force battles a hidden threat, suicide.
Coming March 8th, a new fuel for kids. K-Essentials, only from Kellogg's.
Sorry I'm late. I was at my doctor, and oh, did you ask her about the things you've been reading about menopause? I did. She said,
it's important to consider menopause and the consequences of its associated estrogen loss.
You mean like hot flashes? Hot flashes and night sweats, but other things too, like vaginal dryness. It can interfere with intimacy. And osteoporosis. I know that menopause increases our risk of fractures. Dr. Hartman also said,
studies show that menopause contributes to heart disease in women. Additional ongoing studies are investigating the connection between menopause and Alzheimer's disease, colon cancer, blindness, and tooth loss.
I had no idea. My doctor and I decided to stick with a program we've agreed on for years. I should speak to my doctor.
When considering menopause, consider the entire body of evidence. Speak to your doctor about what you can do to help protect your health during and after menopause.
Thanks, Dad.
You can't do this with Caravan.
Thanks.
You can't do this with Voyager.
Thanks, Pop.
A little help? The Chevy Venture is available with a remote control sliding side door. So you can get more done and have more fun.
Now choose 0% financing or $1,000 cash back on a Chevy Venture. See your dealer today.
Chevy Venture. Let's go.
Members of the Air Force are battling an insidious threat, suicide, and it appears they are making headway. ABC's Carol Simpson reports.
Their C-17s deployed troops to the Persian Gulf. They flew relief supplies to victims of the devastating hurricanes. These are some of the men and women of the 437th Airlift Wing at Charleston Air Force Base. Defenders of the nation. Not the kind of people you would ever think would be suicidal.
We're used to being in charge, 50 people around directing. It's all on our shoulders. We have to be the one in charge. And it's kind of hard to realize that you need help yourself.
Last September, 30-year-old Staff Sergeant Jeff Boyd tried to kill himself. Distraught over the breakup of his marriage, he held security forces at bay for 8 hours while holding a gun to his head.
In the closet where I was held up, there was a picture of my boy and girl. And at one point in time, I just stopped. Maybe there was hope. That was the only hope I saw at that time.
Sergeant Boyd is still undergoing therapy. The suicide rate in the military is slightly higher than it is in the civilian population. All branches of the service have problems, but the Air Force had the highest suicide rate. In 1994, 66 airmen took their lives. Now, an ambitious Air Force anti-suicide program begun in 1996 has caused a sharp decline. Last year, 34 servicemen killed themselves, a decline of almost 50%.
Here at Charleston Air Force Base, when someone appears to be in trouble or threatening to commit suicide, base personnel recommend that fellow airmen do ask and do tell.
Don't wait till it's so bad that we're struggling to keep somebody from swallowing the pills that they have in their hand that you just walked into and found. You with me?
Major Frank Budd conducts suicide awareness training seminars for supervisory personnel. He says the number of suicides in his command unit has dropped 70%.
Which is really phenomenal.
In addition to awareness training, the program produces brochures, newspaper columns, and a website outlining how and where to get help with personal problems. The Air Force Command believes that if it helps its airmen handle problems at the ground level, the airmen will be able to handle any problems in the skies. Carol Simpson, ABC News, Charleston Air Force Base, South Carolina.
Still ahead, room with a view and a big problem.
This is not like any other antacid I've ever had.
You won't believe your mouth.
It dissolves in your mouth. It's just like, shabam.
Introducing Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables, a whole new kind of calcium antacid for heartburn.
Dissolves immediately, swallow, done.
Boom.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables dissolve faster and more completely than Tums.
It's not gritty. It's not pieces. Goodbye, grit.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Tablets. Quick dissolve your heartburn away.
I'm a happy man.
From 1 Minute Maalox.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through.
Have you seen Transitions lenses lately? Indoors, the changing tint is clearer. Outdoors, they're the darkest Transitions lenses ever. For all-day comfort and convenience, Transitions lenses, right in any light.
I'll be seeing you.
Visit our website or call 1-877-4-TRANSITIONS.
Try to remember now where to look for a ginkgo biloba to help aid memory. Nature's Resource knows you should look for one with terpenes and flavone glycosides for memory help. And unlike some, Nature's Resource guarantees the potency and purity you need. Make your herbal resource Nature's Resource. Follow the knowledge.
Imagine surviving a train crash only to plunge into an alligator-infested swamp. These and others have stared death in the face. I Survived a Disaster, ABC Tonight.
Couple of sports stories tonight, then they're off. Nearly 60 teams of dogs took off today from downtown Anchorage. It was the ceremonial start of the 27th Iditarod Trail sled dog race. The winning team picks up a cool $54,000. The U.S. government has given the green light to a pair of controversial baseball games. The Baltimore Orioles will take on the Cuban national team in Havana later this month. A rematch will take place sometime later in Baltimore. And finally tonight, it is one of the most beautiful valleys in the United States, and it is the scene of a very ugly fight. The outcome of that fight could determine whether a Columbia River gorge stays as beautiful. ABC's Brian Rooney reports on the young couple caught in the middle.
The horses are up there.
28-year-old Brian B. spent every penny he has and went deeply in debt to build this house on property that's been in his family for a century.
That's where I grew up. It's where I planned to build my house when I was a teenager.
Because they have to go through and they have to see within 18 inches of floor.
He got all the permits and approvals from the county building department and placed his house with a commanding view of one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. But the view goes both ways, and Brian B.'s house also can be seen for miles. The government agency that oversees this protected scenic area now says Brian B. has to move his house.
It's not going to happen. That's not an option.
The Columbia River Gorge Commission says the house never should have been built where it is and that it violates rules requiring it to blend into the landscape.
If we can't make that be made right, then we've got a mess in the gorge. Then any county, any property owners can mess up, and we're helpless, and we'll see 100 of those houses.
Preservationists fear that the mountains and waterfalls everyone loves will be lost in suburban sprawl.
This is a treasure in the Pacific Northwest, and it's a treasure because it's been kept in a natural state.
The commission does allow building under strict guidelines administered by the county, and that's what Brian B. claims he did.
The colors, the shape, the size, all of that had to go through these governmental bodies and get approval for it to be where it is today.
B may have bent the rules, making the house bigger and more prominent than his permit allowed, but the county approved anyway, and the Gorge Commission didn't notice until the house was built. The county attorney says government can't take back its approval.
Good, bad, or indifferent is the final decision that needs to be honored and enforced.
Now prevented from finishing his house, B is defended by a legal foundation that focuses on property rights. Together, they'll go to court to test whether a man's right to his property outweighs the public's right to preserve a place like this. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Stevenson, Washington.
And that is our report for tonight. Tomorrow morning on This Week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts, Linda Tripp will be the guest. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For all of us here at ABC News, have a great Sunday and a great rest of the weekend.
Sunday, a unique plan one community is using to protect themselves against Y2K disaster. Countdown to the millennium. Watch ABC's World News Tonight Sunday. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABCnews.com, now a part of the GO Network.
World champion Alexei Yagudin. European champion Maria Budurskaya. These great Russian skaters welcome the world's best, including American national champion Michael Weiss to their home country. Don't miss the ISU Grand Prix final in prime time, tonight at 9 on ABC.
All this natural goodness, all the wholesome nutrition in Orwheat comes to you in Orwheat sandwich breads.
A little softer.
A little wider. A whole lot better. Orwheat 100% whole wheat, Orwheat 7-grain, and Orwheat oat nut. Nature's goodness you can see and taste.
It makes a better sandwich.
A great sandwich.
Orwheat, nature's goodness you can see and taste. And taste what Orwheat natural wheat can do for a sandwich.
Izzy's has been called the Northwest's favorite salad bar, and for good reason. The selection is incredible. Everything's so fresh. There are even new items like Izzy Caesar salad.
And right now, when you purchase our all-you-can-eat salad bar at our regular low price, you'll get unlimited pizza free.
And free is a very good price.
Tom, should I get you an extra plate?
Izzy's incredible salad bar. All you can eat for just $4.99 at lunch, $5.49 at dinner. And for a limited time only, the pizza's free.